IAS 38, intangible assets, my favourite standard. Okay, as a Grimsby Town fan, which is a very small team in England, maybe I'm attracted to broken and out-of-date things that used to be good, but maybe aren't so much now. And that's really the problem with IAS 38. Now, it's dealing with things that you can't touch. So you're dealing with licenses, patents, brand names, that maybe all you get is a piece of paper, and that's it. But the benefit is the revenue that will generate, the know-how that you're going to get, and so on. Now, the accounting for these is very, very simple. You recognise them at cost, whatever you've paid for the asset, and you amortise it over their useful life. Amortisation, same as depreciation, but it's just called that because it's an intangible asset. So it's simple, but it's not necessarily relevant, because that means you can't revalue these intangibles often. You can revalue them if there's an active market. Now, an active market is one where there's always buyers and sellers and there's regular transactions. But that doesn't really apply to intangible assets because your brand name or your patent, it's not being traded regularly. So you can't use a market price for that. So realistically, you can't revalue them. In the standard, there are some examples of what you can revalue, but they are milk quotas and taxi licenses. And that's really a reflection of when the standard was written in 1998. Which conversely was the last time Grimsby Town were good. And so it's not really fit for the modern world. If we think about the technological advances that have gone since then, significant changes. And when your examples are milk quotas and taxi licenses, it's really a little tired now. And the third problem with intangible assets is that you can't recognize internally generated ones. And internally generated ones are ones that you've just kind of developed yourself. The only one you could have is research and development. So think of the big tech companies in the global market, they can only capitalize their assets when they're researching new things right at the end, when they can prove that it's technically feasible and will make a profit. So they invest huge sums, which are just written off in the P&L with really only a small asset to show for it. And so the problem with intangibles is that really you've got vastly undervalued assets in the balance sheets of many companies, which leads to a situation where the market capitalization of a firm is dramatically higher than the actual balance sheet value that it shows. And that can't be right. Now, the IASB have acknowledged that that is a problem, and it's on their plan to look at it to see what they can do. And hopefully at that point, it's time to bring it into the future, because while 1998 might have been great, sometimes it's time to get back into the present.